Alright guys, welcome back for what could be the finale. I will only know when we get when it comes to an end. We're gonna do here in the last 9 years that we have is we are going to attack France and try to take the county of Anjou. May not sound terribly ambitious, but that is sort of what I would like to make the capstone. I mean, there's also the whole issue with either I think it's Angermanland that's going to come available here in 3 years. But these little pieces of Sweden, not quite as big a deal to me now that we've got most of the rest of it. Um, we also are missing. I mean, if we really wanted to claim to have the entire Empire of Scandinavia, we would have to include the three territories in Holstein that we simply do not have. So it doesn't really bother me that there are these two random counties in Sweden that are independent. Maybe we'll be able to come back and do something about that, but for right now, I'm just going to let France have what for. Okay, and so the final expeditionary force from the 7 counties we hold in Scotland, or likely the final expeditionary force, 10,000 men. Probably didn't need 190 ships. But I forgot that 3,000 of my levy is Swedish. That's not very nice of her. Okay. There's a 20,000 man Castilian army down there. It's kind of impressive. Right, 1443, 10 years to go. We don't really get to do anything during 1453. Game kind of cuts off on January 1st. So what I want to do, I don't want to give the French too much of a chance to reinforce their army. So let's see what the French do here. Huh. Ah, oh, she's already betrothed. Okay. My mistake. There's of course a difference between the Kingdom of France and the Empire of Francia. So let's see here. Okay, so the two French armies do work together. Now, Up here, you're gonna be stuck there for the rest of your life. So just okay. I've had random women appear at my court. Okay. Okay, so I need to go down to Euphemia. Wherever she is, there she is. Okay. Yay! Okay, we destroyed another smuggler's ring. And now I'm going to go reinforce my besieging army. I see. Castile was able to take it. So, considering I don't see any of my allies from Aquitaine, I would say that I'm the only war going on at the moment. But no, there's still Aquitanian forces down here. Okay. Well, the Permian Revolt, not necessarily going to last. No, I need the big army. Now we're doing this number again. Now they had to cross the river to get here. I saw the river. Oh shoot, they brought horses. All right, well, England's going to show up. So that's exciting. All right, so I've got peasants and I've got siegers. Right, so far so good for me. Oh, this is the Holy Roman Empire. I guess everybody had the same idea I did. We can get really weird in the English land. A lot of holdings in Anjou. Of course, it is also very much near the end of the game. You got 8 years to go at this point. I don't know if the English ever arrived or not. Not sure it would matter at this point. Duchess of Genoa, Duchess of Tyrol. Kind of need somebody who can go ahead and help me shore up the lineage here. Okay, not quite sure what that's all about. I'm 50. How old is my wife? 51? Okay, there are going to be no sons. It's not the army I wanted. Excellent. We are doing all kinds of good work. You never did. You had Oh, it's a Norman army from Normandy. And this is a Toulousan army. Oh, they're going after the rebels. Why are there suddenly all these Normandy troops around? No, he's just got the 2 wars. He's just being a good vassal. Alright, now we decided to put my grandson in command of the army. Okay, there's an Aquitanian army moving around. Alright, we got 95% score on Anjou. Okay, he's healthy again. That's good. All right. So there we have the duchy, or sorry, the county of Anjou, courtesy of the fact that everyone decided to dogpile on France at once. So that means that with the last 6 years, we can go and attack something else. Our peace with gastric land lasts until 1448, but we have been potentially at war with Angermanland. So what we need to go do is finish that off. So let's go and do that. Let's see if we can carry this all the way to the end. Good. Okay, we need to go ahead and declare this war before I raise any more troops. Now, an English crusade on Mosul. Okay, that's going to be kind of hard to get to. Essentially, by the time we get there, the war will probably be over. But okay, so 105 ships. All right. So that's going to, until the mercenaries show up, that's going to have to suffice there. We're going to try to get these 8,000 men on these boats. Guess we're gonna go to the Levantine Sea. This is gonna be quite a little jaunt for us. Okay, come on, guys. All right, I think it's only appropriate that our successor should be our marshal, considering we started off the game with a with an earl who was a marshal. Sarah. Interesting. And you see how crazy the Holy Roman Empire got during this game, seeing as they took over Egypt. And their forces are for some reason active in Asia. I don't know if they're part of this crusade or not. I'll just let the boats sit. I don't have anywhere to put them. Meanwhile, in our siege against Angerman land, which generally we have 10,000 forces doing. Yeah, I'm proud of my daughter. It's because she's not in the succession. Doesn't mean anything. No, he's Christian. All right. You been begging for. Yeah. Okay. You guys. That's right. Okay. Yes, because being attacked by the King of Sicily was such a big deal last time. No? Okay. Somebody's trying to kill off people in the Isles. As we are now less than 5 years away. Yes, you love your wife who never gave you a son. She did give you a firstborn daughter named Natasha who gave you a son or grandson, but okay, what was this? Oh, okay. Oh, 31st June, huh? Or July. Well, that's interesting. Come on, guys. Tell you what, you guys sail all the way to here. That way, I'll know. Okay, I'm not really sure what the point of that was. No, they're all Irish band. I don't. Okay, it says that I have troops raised somewhere. I am pretty sure this is not the case. But, yeah, I do have troops raised somewhere. Completely forgotten about those guys. Okay, that doesn't make any sense. Sure, call in the Teutonic Order. Okay, I don't know where Walther is, but I feel bad for him. Normal. Should have cut off that particular ambition a while ago. But okay. Now we've married somebody in the house Arpad. What's going on here? Hmm. Thought it would have drifted over. Still England Mercia as opposed to Wales Duobarth. Oh, Norway moved their capital to Nidaros. I guess I shouldn't be real surprised by that. Oh, didn't realize there were Navarrese troops here. All right. Victory for us here. And we have now unified all of Scandinavia except for the territories within the Holy Roman Empire. And I don't really have any desire to do that. And we have but 3 years left. So we did leave our flag on Antioch. We could easily send our mercenaries back into that fight. I think that's what we'll do. Now I have gastric land. No. Part of Upland, so we need to give it to her. A7 ships will be plenty. And we have the Byzantine revolt. Okay, well, you know, it's interesting because I didn't realize that Navarre was still a thing. It's because it's not. It barely exists. I don't see it. Oh, it's because it's tiny. Oh darn, we actually have. Finland keeps pushing its way. You know, now we've got Pomeroy to go with Mitt Romney. 2 years. Just 2 years. And I still don't see my ship. Okay, can't build anything there. Can't build anything there. Can't build anything here. Wait a minute, I only need troops raised. Yeah, I get that. Okay. Did not realize that was still there. He's 56 years old and the game has 2 years to run. So yeah, no. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to build as much prestige peacefully as I possibly can. So it's March. Next thing we can do, I believe, happens in April. Oh, can't hold a summer fair if we're not at peace. So, since we're basically kind of running through the end of it here, staying out of the... Oh, good. I'm pretty sure my guy's going to die of the Great Pox. Fortunately, my successor is off in Sweden. I guess I can go spend money somewhere. Well, that was nice of them. Peasants have been revolting a lot lately. Galloway. Castle. City walls. Carrick. Looking for things I can finish quickly. All right, it does not appear that um, Britain is going to finish its war before the game comes to an end here in 6 months. Which is unfortunate because it means we can't hold a final feast or anything like that. But we are being good allies. So here's what the world looks like as we are heading toward the end. India's kind of mixed up. The Mongols still exist with a pretty singular empire instead of a broken, multifaceted empire. In Arabia, the Fatimids long ago split into separate Shia families, but it's definitely a Shia Islamic world. Um, it's definitely a Shia Islamic world right now. Castile came all the way down, took over the trans-Saharan routes, including I guess the gold pits in Mali. And England, of course, held on and expanded its holdings that it got very early on in a crusade. And the Scots conquered Scandinavia as they promised. so that not a single Viking hold is left. And so we got all the way to 95,000. So we didn't quite get to the 100,000 score. I guess we could have, if certain things had gone a little bit differently, but I'm not worried about it too much. You know, we all start off in Carrick, and then um, Queen Deborah declared the petty kingdom of Galloway. But we were forced for a while into Ireland, and from a regency, it was King Dean who kind of rebuilt the kingdom in its source, and it led to the rules of King Garrick and King Philip, who dueled with the Kingdom of Scotland until finally King Philip was able to usurp its powers and bring them into the family of himself. Brian the Bold, his son, time kind of caught up with Brian. He only had a short rule, but he did manage to bring in Wales during that time. Then Brian's son had the ironic name of King Maldred, which is basically the same name as Mordred. And he ruled for 43 cruel years. And he was responsible for conquering Norway due to a very ambitious chancellor who basically put claims on half of the kingdom at the end of his life. Then he was followed by Dermid. Dermid, best known for having an affair with his son's daughter, which was unfortunate because his son was King Melvin the Wise, who added Lapland to the kingdom as it kept growing. And Melvin the Wise is followed by his grandson, King Melvin the Just, who expanded the kingdom and also tried to root out Finnish paganism wherever he found it. As a result, I think he is the highest rated ruler in the family line. By the end of his reign, he had almost completed the Empire of Scandinavia, but what little work was to be done on that was completed by his son Walker, who unfortunately was German. And so instead of being Emperor Walker of the Scots, he became Kaiser Walker of the Scots. But he's the one who did the final usurpation of Sweden. Denmark had been added to the kingdom during the reign of King Melvin the Just. The final usurpation of Sweden, and allowing him to form the Empire of Scandinavia, which was renamed the Empire of the Scots. Then Walker's Germanness unfortunately continued down to his son, Lutbrand. And Lutbrand started to expand the kingdom in the direction of France. That had already somewhat begun due to individual county inheritances in the Brittany Peninsula. But Lutbrand is the one who brought in the Duchy of Aquitaine and more possessions in Brittany into the kingdom. But the greatest of all was the last ruler, Kaiser Connor Ironside, who spent the last 41 years on the throne. He had a great love uh, with his wife, which he never broke, never threw away. He brought all the kingdoms to papal investiture and tried to reorganize a more centralized kingdom. And he's also responsible for the final conquests in France, so that most of northwest France was in Scottish hands, as well as cleaning up the last little bits of Sweden and, well, Sweden. To be incorporated. He's forming an alliance with the English in his later years, which, granted, he didn't get much use of, but would have been impressive had the alliance continued in the future. But that was the Richardsons. They started with a marshal named John serving his lord, the Duke of, or the Petty King of the Isles. And if the Great Smallpox had, or if the Great Pox had worked faster, we might have well ended off with a King John, or sorry, a Kaiser John of the Scots. Instead, however, we just we're left with a Marshal John. So that's the end of the Scots run. From here, um, we from here we have only to move on to the next campaign, and I know what I want the next campaign to be, and there will be a next campaign. But give it some time before it starts to show up. I think it will be quite African. And I'll see you then.